Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're gonna talk about why I'm not gonna play Dragon's 2. So there's definitely a lot of controversy happening with regards to microtransactions. So we're gonna talk about that a little later. But in general, one of the things I played the game. I played for 90 minutes of it, and just a full disclosure, I've uninstalled and got a refund for it on Steam. There's lots of reasons why, but one of the few and major ones for me is that it is an open world game with only one single character. So you are playing a linear game with consequential events happening for missing quests or not doing things in a live type of ecosystem. And because of that, you can draw your own conclusions that effectively you might as well watch Asmongold play character, especially if your character is going to be similar to what he's picking effectively. So why should I play the game where what was that? Did you see that? So why would I want to play a game where Asmund is going to play my character effectively for me, and I'm going to get to enjoy watching him play in a half bald personality here, but regardless, and it wouldn't make any difference because it's just a one linear progression. They talk about a lot of things like regards to dynamic events. Well, are they really dynamic? After like looking through the game, you quickly realize it's not necessarily dynamic. It's more like the mobs are just roaming around. So it's just like mobs in certain areas, and they come together in these semi-predictable events. So the mobs are always going to be there at events, and they're not really random. It's just they're patrolling the area, let's just say, and they just stumble upon that event. So, anyways, and because you can argue that for a lot of games, but since you can only have one effective, well, effectively you have two saves, one within, another one is just where you mainly manually save, and you cannot go back and basically do different quests different times and see the outcomes. So it doesn't really make any difference for me to play or not to play because I can just watch Osman here and he's doing a good job. He's probably going to nitpick every single thing in this game. So I get to watch all the choices and have fun and look at the comments. Not every single game needs to be played by you, and especially in open world. Open worlds is like a double-edged sword. I think open worlds were awesome back in early 2000s and things like that. They're still amazing to this day, obviously. That's why people are making a look at the map. And that is that they take a lot of time. And in general, we're as streamers, not all streamers are streaming 24/7 or 8 hours, whatever they can afford to do this. So in this instance, it's easy just to enjoy the watching of another player who has the time to play open world games. And that's one of the major reasons for me why I wouldn't be able to play this. I'll just enjoy watching Asmund play. And not to mention I can 2x him, so I'll actually get all the content and all the storyline from that game. Now, so that would be my main reason. It's just basically lack of time. I played enough of open world games to get the idea. I'm not a big fan of walking simulators, especially if there's no horses or any fast travel. And it seems like there's fast travel, but it's semi-limited or there's some sort of restrictions. Maybe somebody can explain to me more. There's one from the story itself that I got from 90 minutes. I'm not sure if it was engaging enough for me. The whole concept of pawns kind of, I could be wrong because I don't think I played enough to make that judgment call, but it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, the pawns are just basically NPCs that you get to hire or create, right? Or get other people's pawns, different levels. And the whole concept of Arisen from the dragon's heart, and then you just basically in this world. But I don't know if there's enough dynamic in this world itself. I feel it's just a world of non-consequential. Like it's not a Witcher. Like I don't feel there's any dramatic events gonna happen if you don't do certain things or if you do things. Like it seems like the storyline is really linear, which is fine. But I don't really want to go too much on it. Really, my point is that as the way the game's set up with one character, one save, this guy just randomly appears. So here we go. He gets the. Is it a pawn? Is this his personal pawn? Is it the pawn, the fat pawn he chose? Anyway, like I said, it would be much more entertaining to just watch other players. I probably shouldn't move myself up here. I just let's see. Anyhow, right. myself here. Probably better. And yeah, I mean, it seems from what I've seen, the game is really good. There's a lot of combos and seems like a lot of dynamic situations where you want to think on your feet. I haven't even had the experience of the night, so I'm sure there's a lot of things in there. From what I saw, it seems a lot of choices, just like in Baldur's Gate 3, where how you're gonna handle mobs and how you deal with them, all very engaging. Not sure how their quests are related and what are the challenges comes from that, but overall, looks pretty good. Oh, he chose a skinny guy. Interesting. Well, he is a skinny guy, I guess. Yeah. So what else? I did have a minor issue with combat in some ways. Is that it felt like you're just taking down the HP bar. I mean, you climbing is great. It definitely feels that fantasy for a lot of people. Probably shouldn't block the chats, but I'll push myself here. But yeah. So open world, not enough time. You can definitely squeeze the time, but it's you can't really enjoy this sort of games one little bit at a time. You can't like spend an hour in these. You can absolutely, but since it's like not turn-based, it's just like action. You kind of want to really dwell at least say 2 to 3 hours a session to really start enjoying the game. It's really something that because you gotta walk, but it's because there was a walking exploration, a lot of exploration to be done in this game. Lots of high grounds, verticality that require you to get the right chest and things like this. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that is legitimate fun. There's nothing wrong with the game. When it comes to microtransactions, obviously, when I started playing the game, I only was aware of the rifts, but I don't really care about the currencies if the game is right. And because rifts usually, whatever the currency, just don't spend, don't buy. And if the game is good, sure, you can probably add. But it was like already high priced relatively to the other games. And then when I logged off the 90 minutes mark, right, then I see all the microtransactions. And I see what the people are saying. And I was like, and I see what the microtransactions are. Wow, Jesus. So we have a premium game, technically AAA, with somewhat slightly dated graphics. And they're still asking for microtransactions. I'm a big fan of Capcom. I play a lot of their games. I haven't been playing their latest of their games to know there are constantly a lot of microtransactions in them, like Devil May Cry. I've never really played that franchise. Surprise. I'd love to. I think that the stories and characters are amazing. I definitely got to more enjoy that. But overall, it seems to me that, yeah, look at this, it's funny. That's what I'm saying. Right? It seems to me that it was like a surprise. Wow. Especially after coming from Baldur's Gate 3. It is a single player game. There's absolutely, yeah, that's what I meant. There's no real point of streamers like me to watch anything and to play this game outside of just enjoyment. And there's no urgency to play. There's so many other games that I haven't even played because there's so many games on my Steam account that I'd like to go back to and finish or get going. I'm just choosing pawns right now. So yeah, and since there's vacations in this game, and one of them is the one I wanted to go is the Warfare, I believe. And then I started looking at the store, got to the first village, is that the vocations actually lock, the items are locked to the vocations. So basically I went for Thief because I looked at because the fighter gets a sword, the shield. I don't really play with shields as much as possible. So I play with Thief. And then I noticed the gear that I'm going to get, I would eventually run toward to get the Warfare invocation. But anyways, the gear you would get is basically bound by the class. So it's not bound, but like you choose a class and the gear you're going to get, which is fine. But the problem is since you have a single save, I didn't know that. So, but I would want to like restart the game so I can maybe get the gear for the Warfare. But actually I cannot get it because I'm playing as a Thief start. So I'm like, oh, okay, I have to fight with the shield now. But I guess I could skip all that and just go through the destination of getting the class that I wanted to. But again, is that all of a sudden an open game world where basically they already screw me over in some way? I kind of screwed myself over, basically because I chose a Thief because I felt the fighting will be much better, much more engaging with the double swords, double daggers, whatever. So that was a little bit disappointing, and that's what made me like actually quit the game because I realized, hold on a second, did I actually make a mistake? And then that's when I started to seeing all those bullshit about microtransactions. Like, editing appearance. Like it's a single player, and then you can't apparently edit files or do something to it. Like it's a single player that you don't actually own, effectively. It's like it's only there for them. I'm not sure why they made the decision to have only one character. There are some interesting things to be made. The argument that you must be walking and lots of things needs to happen excitingly for you on a walking experience, not even on a horse, just like while walking in the open world on 2024 with a gang of 4. So they had technical problems, obviously, because they couldn't figure out. They took the old version of the game from whatever 2012 something like it came out, and then effectively they have decided to, sorry about that, I might have to turn this off. Anyways, and they decided to basically continue with this trend, which is fine. Yeah, I felt like it's cool, but they obviously couldn't add horses. So all of a sudden, your open world is actually larger than it's supposed to be if you had the faster transportation. But yeah, so lots of things could be said about this. But in general, like I said, open world, it will take a lot of time. Asmon already at I think 36 hours into the game or something like that. So again, he is more efficient to finish the game for me, considering he's going to play the same character as I am. There's some interesting distant differences because he chose a skinny guy, and apparently there's a effect on stamina regeneration and damage. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out, because my guy was actually bulky and tall. I was going for something like a Berserk type of character, Guts type of character, which is cool. I'm a big fan of that show. So we're gonna have to see how he does, and also he's gonna not skip a lot of the dialogue, so I'll get to see all the story, and I'll make the judgment on that if I made the right decision. I feel like I made the right decision by not playing, just watching Asmon. I feel that's why one of the reasons why I watch other people play open worlds, because they take a lot of time. I spend enough time playing old games in the open world. I know what it is, and they're quite engaging and a lot of fun to experience from Morrowind to whatnot. So basically, I hope you get to play this game. It seems like a good experience. And another thing is, I noticed as far as the RPG goes, I don't really see any RPG elements in this game. I don't think this is an RPG in a sense that there's no stats to choose from. Like, you just gained a level 2, but there was nothing to choose from. You didn't assign any points. So your only RPG is basically what kind of quests you do. In fact, I can almost say that this is more like action RPG game disguised as an RPG game. There's no actual. It feels like that. There's no choices to be made other than what quest do I want to do. And yeah, I'm not sure. Like, would I want to be playing this instead of the? Wow, that's pretty cool. Wait, he already got this item from someone, or is he trying to buy? I'm not sure. Oh, is he pulling the items from withdraw? Oh, withdraw. Yeah. I didn't even get to this part. I didn't even get to this chance. Is this the premium items you're supposed to get? Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and I'd rather play Elden Ring. I still haven't passed the Elden Ring. So if I were given the choice, I'd rather play Elden Ring, I think, because there at least I feel like I'm creating a character, my adventure is my own, and the fights can be, I can basically set myself out where I fight daily the boss I want or something like that, and I get to experience the adventure. While here, I don't know how much of that is going to be true, and I'm not sure how much of. And another thing is, I noticed while I was playing, the pawns are not. They are good. They got these all interesting mechanics, but then the HP on the monsters artificially buffed to the oblivion because of that. So when I hit the sword, I don't feel like I'm actually hitting the mobs. It's not gonna feel like I'm hitting the mob because they have exaggerated HP. So like, you may have the best sword in the game, and it's just gonna feel. Are you actually doing enough damage? Are you actually gonna rely on more of your pawns? It's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna play out. So microtransactions bad. Gameplay is good. Not sure it's actual role-playing game or not. There's definitely some role-play elements to it. Only 2 races. Interesting choice. I never played the first Dogma, so I can't really say if that's fine or not. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm looking forward to other games, and construction outside definitely forcing me to think of time to wrap it up. And I'll see you on the battlefields of the digital world and gaming. Oh, look at that. He picked up. He just stole from that thing, eh? Yeah, look at him go. Already stealing. No consequences, right? So that's nothing like the alluring, anything like that. So you can see it's all very straightforward. It almost feels like Diablo with four NPCs. Imagine you had a Diablo game with 3 more NPCs running around and helping you out during the battles. And the combat would be damn good, like a Elder Ring type stuff, but isometric view. And that's how it would feel like to me that this game is. It's not like there's dialogue for sure. The voice acting seems nothing extraordinary. There's another thing I noticed, that this game has a very peculiar tone. I had the same problem a little bit with the Fallout. I forgot the 3 or 4, I'm not sure. Basically, where the tone of the color scheme is all bland. If you look at the character here, and you look at these rocks and the wood, right? The rock and the wood, the wall, right? They all feel color scheme the same. Look at this gray monotone color filter, something like that. Like there's no different. Like even look at the grass. It's not a vibrant green. It's just like a sprite green. Don't get me wrong. A lot of games has this, but it feels once he gets outside, I'm probably gonna see more. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of great views, which is great. Right. I think I got that part too. So there's something about it. It had the feel of Elder Ring, because Elder Ring kind of also has that. But at least in that world, it kind of works. In this one, it's supposed to be high fantasy, but I don't feel it's high fantasy. Although, like, it has the interface of Elder Ring in some ways. But like, watch this, like a rock. So rocks, planks that look similar, and here you go. He is exiting out, and you can feel like it almost feels the same. There's no contrast. No, maybe like if they had God rays or something, or made lighting much more efficient. I don't know. Something about it. Maybe it's because I'm in the shades, but I don't think so. I had the same feeling when I was playing. Oh yeah, one more thing I want to add. It's obviously the game was designed for PlayStations, Xbox, and all that stuff, not for PCs first. And it tells a lot with the controls, because they emphasize on 1, 2, 3, 4 commands, and then you have to do special executions with Control 1. Maybe, surely you can change it, but you can tell the gameplay is definitely in that notion. So, right, you see, so the fire is good. There's the mobs. Yeah, boom. The combat is pretty good. I guess still alive, you can jump on it. What do you do? You don't have to jump that much. Touch that. Right. Good. And so once you get the pawns, I'm not sure how challenging this game is. Look, I think he's lower. I think I got to level 4. Again, no choices, just basically leveling up based on your vocation. I wonder if you switch vocation, do you start from level 1? Not McConnell. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty good. So, yeah, this is it. You won't get to see me play, but I might watch Asmon continues march on. Seems like he's committed to finish this. Besides, there's nothing else really out there that equals to this. I'm not sure if it's going to be the game of the year. It's very possible, because I don't think there's any major games for 24 coming out equivalent to this genre, so it's quite possible. And look, Osman already got 36 hours. I think if you get 36 hours for the game, it's pretty impressive. So again, you see how from this point on, there's some sort of monotone colors into it, but it's pretty, don't get me wrong. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out and enjoy your day. I'll see you around. Till the next time, DrDisarray.